The boys have wrecked the car, right? They were told time and time again. It's over-dependent on the building sector, this, that, and the other, you know. And they didn't, for want of a better term, put oil in it. So they paid no attention. They have now wrecked the engine. It's ground to a halt. The outsiders have come in to fix up the mess, and they're all given a golden handshake. Bye, and they're gone. And they've no more responsibility for the mess they've made. Now, it's all very well saying we have to get past the anger. I don't think it's quite as simple as that. I think part of change will be some form of retribution there. I think there must be something like that. I mean, it's shocking that the country has been ruined like this. And, you know, the Lehman Brothers stuff doesn't wash that much. Of course, there were international...
Should Bertie Ahern go to jail, do you think?
Well, I think people should be called to account.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say, should people go to jail? For the simple reason, there has to be due process and trials and all that. I think people should be called to account. I think it is obscene that somebody will walk away with 310,000 and the rest. And people are pleading with the ESB not to cut them off, have this, that, and the other going on. That woman dies. Think about it. Put those two ideas side by side. That mother of two children freezes to death. Not now, it was 2009 as far as I remember. And then somebody's walking away with that. I mean, surely do we not have the intelligence to make a connection between these two things? I think people would sign up to a reasonable deal. But what are the conditions? It would have to be a realistic deal, what you pay and what you get. A realistic time frame. And what's the third thing? With people you trust. All right? Realistic deal, realistic time frame. And with a group, and we do not trust ourselves at the moment. This is really a diabolical situation. As I said to you, people would have paid an extra 2 or 3% to improve the health service 2 years ago. I would have done it willingly, but I did not trust my own lot, whoever they were, because I just don't believe them. Now, after 100 years of independence, we don't trust our own. A little level of cynicism about politicians is normal. But that we really, after 3 generations, we do not trust ourselves. We would trust, I'll give you a very simple example. Most of us would probably trust a British, German, French overseer more than our own. And I'll give you a practical example of that. A couple of years ago, there was a survey done in the south there about who you'd like to pick to be your political leader, your prime minister, whoever. Who do you think was chosen of all the world leaders?
A few years ago?
Just in the last 2 years, yeah.
Blair, was it?
No. Think about it. Go into the European, I'll give you a hint, into the European arena.
Oh, Merkel.
Merkel. Now, I'm asking you why. Is it because she's a woman? I don't think so.
Because she's in Germany. She's a German.
She's coming from a German Protestant background. And people associate that with some kind of fair play. That's why. I don't think there's any Irish politicians mentioned. So we don't trust the women with very good reason. The day after independence, the first person to mistrust is the gouger that gets up on the horseback, your own gentry. And we're living proof of it. Egypt, on an enormous scale, is living proof of it. There's a wonderful, the Nobel Prize winner's book, Nagi Mahfouz's book, Miramar, novel set in the 60s about all of that in the socialist time in Egypt, all of the gangsters and Johnny Do-Goods that came in on the back of that system. We hit a similar thing here. Older voters of Fianna Fáil are shocked at the caper. You know, that there was some kind of probity there a long time ago. Even if some of it was misguided economically, not that well founded. There was a level. I had a friend who she's passed away now, many years ago, her father was assistant city manager. He would not take a bottle of whiskey or anything as a Christmas present. He handed every single present back. He just had that level of probity. It would be parcelled back up and he would get his wife to send it straight back. So, you know, there was that level of probity there, and I'm not being mystical about it. There definitely was. And I live in the real world. You know, life changes, but we do not trust ourselves. That's a pretty bad place to be in. That's a pretty bad place. But like I say, the 3 things, if there was a reasonable deal, what you give and what you get, and that's what it's about. What do I give and what do I get? A reasonable time frame and a group of people we can trust. Most of it, I mean, I said this on your program a couple of years ago, at the last election, 2008, I felt, let's vote for which European country we want to run the place. Now, I was only half joking at the time, you know, and I can guarantee you, a lot of people here now would hand away the flags, the whole lot of it. Let's just bring in some Dutch overseers or some Germans who can run the place honestly and efficiently. Will do the work. Most Irish people will work. They worked hard enough in the Celtic Tiger time. It wasn't money for jam. And they're quite, you know, it's a very different country than 30 or 40 years. That's one thing that impressed me during the whole Celtic Tiger era. People came in time and did stuff, and they worked and they did their bit, you know. And we're well willing to work. We just don't seem to have the management, honesty, whatever skills that it takes, and we don't trust our own. And I don't blame people. I really don't blame people. Most people would sign up to a foreign intervention that would not run the place for us, but manage it in an honest and efficient way. You know, we haven't come to the crossroads yet. We're like the alcoholic. We haven't got to the bottom yet.